Oh, Misha, I have some bad news, man. They made it. They changed.
There are bubbles. This is the Daniela. Where are you? There are bubbles. Brava. Brava.
So you can't kick them. Also, I'm not a bubble. Just so you know. Don't kick, don't kick.
Hi. I would like to apologize. I slept for 8 hours last night, 7.5. I don't look like it, so my apologies. We're offering refunds on the photos.
Good, I bought 3, so that's how's everybody feeling this morning? Oh, look at that. Beautiful faces and empty chairs. That's just what we like to see. What's that? Don't blame me! Sorry guys, it's my fault. That's what I was here. It is good to be back. Year 9. Year 9. Yeah, who's been here all 9 years? Yeah, Padalecki, boom.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Hashtag never forget. Nope.
Those are the bubbles?
Are they remote controlled?
They're sticky though.
They are.
I'm sorry, this never happens.
Oh great, more bubbles.
It's just what we needed. Well, as usual, we're running wildly behind, and we should probably get going, right? Oh, I see we've got apple juice. Great.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're super stoked to be here. We're thankful you guys are as well.
Did you put sunglasses on?
I did. And we're going to have fun today. We'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, thank you. I'll just keep going, and then it's, you know, all of a sudden it's a show about an air guitar.
Hi guys.
But I can do an air guitar.
Forgive me, Ackles is bright and shining. I don't feel so hot, but I should.
I think you look amazing.
Maybe he's born with it. This boy lost in hospital. Maybe it's maybe.
No, it's not.
Very well.
Yeah, we're all bright and shiny, happy people, right?
Yes.
This glorious morning in Roma.
Who saw last night's or 2 nights ago's episode?
What happened?
Tammy and Mrs. Like, oh, I didn't see it. Sorry.
What happened?
And yes,
Which one was it?
it was like It was the penultimate episode of the season.
Really?
Right?
Yes.
22.
So, one left.
Yes.
Yes.
Then,
Yes! I was so happy. We saw it the other day, like in the wild. It was like the penultimate something. There was something else like, Ackles, penultimate! You're like, yeah.
yeah, you've used this word for years. I don't know why you all of a sudden, did you
Because
relearn it?
Yes.
Okay.
We saw it in the wild, and you were sort of
You can
like,
just say in like everyday life, because that's not the wild. That's
Hi guys. We better get to something more exciting than us talking about penultimate. Believe in your fucking self. I love that shirt. I'm sorry, I'm not cussing. That's her shirt.
yeah. Listen, if you're just reading it, then it's acceptable. Hi.
Hi. So I was wondering, because Mary as a hunter is not a foreign concept to the boys. The first time they really meet her, or Sam really meets her in season 5, she is hunting. So I was wondering how much it is in the time travel episode.
Season 6?
Season 5. The song remains the same.
Season 5. Let's go with season 5.
Let's get back to penultimate. Yes, season 5.
You both, or Sam and Dean both meet her as a hunter, but Dean still has a lot of idealized memories. So I was wondering if that played a part in Sam having an easier time accepting her hunting in season 12.
13?
Stop looking at the monitor.
It's weird.
No, it's
weird.
not weird. Just ignore it. You're on television, for crying out loud.
I'm totally
There's always a camera pointed at you, and monitors are everywhere. You've made a living ignoring it. Ignore it.
I am totally famous right now. I can see myself.
Really? It's the picture of you that makes you think you're famous and not all of these people?
That's messed up, man. I'm not famous anymore.
No, obviously not.
Wait a second.
I will answer your question.
It was to you.
No. Just asking if Sam was more accepting of her being a hunter than Dean was. How was that to me? Did you want me to
It's
answer?
both of you.
Thank you. You'll have to excuse my friend. I would say yes. I'd say that you're correct in thinking that Sam, because he didn't have those memories or even the ideas of what he thought those memories should be, like Dean did, that he was more accepting of her just falling into the fray and being part of the family and being part of the family business. Dean, however, I think he struggled with that because that's not the mom that he always had envisioned in his mind. And she was a little bit more cut and dry with him, and I think he always envisioned this kind of like warm and welcoming and loving and caring and nurturing mother, which was something that was always missing in his life. So I think that was a bit shocking and a bit jarring for him to see his mother in a different light. So yeah, good pickup.
But to some degree also, I feel like even in reality, in real life, like we sort of sensationalize our parents and think they are, our recollections of childhood are different than probably what actually happened, you know?
I remember there was a moment in my life where I was like, when you realize that your parents make mistakes and are human, just like everybody, you know?
And they're not who you describe them as, and nor will, if you become a parent, you probably won't be what your children remember as even being this guy.
Great, thank you for your question.
Thank you. Hello, you look so beautiful today. I'm so glad to see you.
You're blind. Thank you. It's nice to meet
She's wearing glasses.
you. You're very beautiful yourself. We are not. We are.
Speak for yourself.
So I see you're ready for my question.
Did you have an accident? Daniela, can we get the adult diapers? No.
Dying.
And
Oh, my question.
it's only Saturday morning. Yes, what is your question?
If there are an episode like changing channels, but in Magic Mike universe, how would boys deal with it?
How would we deal with it?
Boys, talented.
I would get my dance on. I'm just saying, man. I'd come out dancing. If there's a Magic Mike changing channels. How would you like us to?
I would like you both to die. To dance.
I agree with you. If there was a Magic Mike changing channels, I also would want to die. I'd be up on stage with like 5 guys all oiled up, and I'd be like, "Ah, whoa, stop it, kill me."
I agree. Thank you.
That makes sense.
It's been
I would want you all to die,
it's been 13
so that we could get back to Channing Tatum and Matt Bomer.
It's been 13 years we've done the show. I have never been on stage and been told to die.
Not to die, wished that you would die.
I would wish for you both to die.
Freudian slip.
Fraulein slip.
Oh, that was awesome.
I wanted to ask if you could tell each other one thing you find very beautiful about the other one.
Give me a sec.
20 minutes later.
Go ahead there, partner.
You know what? He's not a short man. But he has a wonderful tuft of hair that I can see because I'm 6'5", 6'4", and he's a mere 6'1", so I can. I'm just kidding.
Were you just insulting short people?
No. No.
Are you saying I'm short?
It's okay.
I'm short.
Because he was talking about me, and you put, so first we're dying, and now, all right, I see where this day is going. That's cool.
I'll start. He has, so you always hope, you always hope that you'll have people in your life that won't stand for certain things. This sounds like a weird, backhanded thing to say, but he will, as a friend, very uniquely in my life. It's like there are a few friends I have in my life who they'll be like, dude, you're better than this. And that to me is rare at this point in my life. You know, like a lot of people who I work with are paid to tell me, hey, you're great. So it stands out to me when he's like, dude, like, don't do that. You're right, man. You're right. I'm better than this, you know? So I'll say that his ability to remain kind of who he is without being famous, like it's not about fame or power or status. It's more like, hey dude, like up your game. Like you're like be better. You're better. Got it. Cool. Done. So his ability to kind of be outside of, like, if y'all know him as Jensen Ackles, Dean Winchester, I know him as, Uncle Ackles, like my kids call him. So that's a very rare, very cool thing I get to have in my life.
That's exactly why I asked this question.
Yeah, I was just going to say his chest, but I feel like that might be inadequate. Not your chest. The answer. It's weird, it's like I asked for it, but I didn't even ask for it. It just happens. And it's hard to stop once it gets going, so I bear with it. There's many things that I would tell you about him that I think are qualities that we all strive to achieve. I will pick one, and that is his ability to liven and lighten and make a room better just by walking out.
I just wanted to say that that's exactly why I asked this question, because you guys and everybody in this room is very beautiful and everybody here deserves to know it, so spread positivity.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Seeing him there.
So, my question is, if you were an animal, which one would you be? Roar.
Say it again.
Roar. I'm Russian, sorry.
Roar.
Roar, yes.
Roar.
See, it's in there.
If we could roar, you're Russian?
Yes.
Or you're Russian?
Yes, I am.
Not from Roma?
No, I'm from Russia.
So sorry. It's okay. Russia is very pretty. What's the question?
If we're an animal,
If you were an animal,
he
one?
would be a bull.
Or a moose.
It's the obvious one.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be like a I don't know.
I was told recently.
Something dumb. Skunk.
I was told recently a wolf. Whatever that means.
So, this is a strange story, and this is not what you asked, but I'm going to tell it. So we have a chicken coop in our house in Austin, and some coyotes were trying to eat our chickens. Some skunks were as well, and raccoons. So we put a trap, and we caught a possum, and it was pretty gnarly, and he pooped everywhere. It was okay. We took him out to the nature reserve and let him free, so he wouldn't eat our chickens anymore. But they named him, so when Shep, my 4-year-old, catches lizards, they're always named Lizzie. Yeah. So Lizzie the lizard, one time, I don't know how to tell this story. So Lizzie the lizard will crawl around and jump in the chicken coop, and chickens will sometimes chase Lizzie. And long story short, our possum was named Mr. Possum. And I think I'd be a possum. I love possums. Do you know what a possum?
I know what a possum is, yeah.
A possum? Do you say a
Are they
possum?
marsupials?
Yes.
They're marsupials, right?
Sure.
Sure. It's interesting because they, whenever they have fear, they just play dead, which isn't really what you do. And they have a really long tail. It's rat-like, and I don't think you're rat-like.
My tail is.
How about giraffe?
I'm going with moose, man. I think.
All right, moose. Fine, moose it is.
What would you be?
Let me ask you this: if you were to pick animals for either of us, which animals would you pick?
I think you would be a bear. Jensen.
Right.
And Jared, I think tiger, something like that. Or a lion, maybe? Lion. I think lion would be the best one.
But feline.
Lion?
Lion, yes.
I love it. Lion, I love it. Stay tuned. I'll have news for you in a couple of days. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Hi there.
Hi. My question is about last week's episode because I haven't watched this week's. When Dean was going to get Sammy's body back after Sam died, what exactly?
What?
When Dean was ready to go get Sam back.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler.
No, it's 2 weeks old. It's not spoiler.
Yeah, but she hasn't seen it. Okay, fine. Welcome to
Last week's episode, Beat the Devil. What exactly did he have in mind? Didn't he think that he was probably going to die too if he got back there?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Listen, I was not quiet about this. I had a fundamental issue with the fact that Dean left. And it was too late in the game to rewrite the script, and we just kind of had to put our heads down and be like, you know what, this is going to tell the story better. Yes, it's kind of doing a disservice to the character, but it needed to happen in order for the story to kind of progress and get to where we needed to be. And unfortunately, sometimes we have to maneuver in a way that does that. But
I had a very interesting perspective as the dead brother. Spoiler alert. Where I felt like I never questioned that Dean was going back. I think
we never did either.
Yeah. Whether it was in 5 minutes or 5 days or immediately, I feel like I knew that he was going to go back for his brother. So as a fan of the show, I felt like it was really heartbreaking, but exciting nonetheless to see Dean really just emotionally
Being a wreck.
Yeah. And I knew that he was going to go back, and it's almost easier to do the bravado, like, hey, I'm going back, I'm going to the tunnels, one this and that. It's more difficult, and this guy pulled it off in spades, to play the I don't want to be anywhere but in that cave looking for my brother and having to move on and save these humans. So bravo to him.
Bravo to both of you. You both made me cry. Thank you.
Thank you. I remember when we shot that scene with where after Sam's death, we meet up with Mary for the first time, and she's like, "Where's Sam?" and Dean isn't able to say anything, and I knew it was going to be, that needed to be an emotional moment, and there were how many people in that scene? Probably like 6 characters, or 7. There was a lot. We shot everybody else's coverage first, and I was like, well, so much for that. And then, but I don't know, I took a moment and tried to figure it out, and I guess I don't know what they used. I haven't seen the final episode. But anyway, that was tough.
By the way, on the way in today, we watched the gag reel. It's really good.
Nothing. Hi.
I want to show you the gag reel. He's saying no. She what? Oh yeah. He's mortified. He's like, this isn't usable. I'm never getting hired again.
You've known each other for a long time. Do you have any habits you adopted from each other?
I don't know if they're habits, but we have certainly adopted a shorthand language with each other that you see both in the final cuts of the show, because it's stuff that maybe we didn't rehearse or stuff that we didn't talk about prior to filming the scene, and then during the scene it just happens because he and I can read each other so well, and so we don't have to discuss it. You see it a lot in the gag reels, speaking of. Because as soon as he starts going off the rails into prank mode, I quickly recognize it and derail with him. Or vice versa. As soon as he feels like I'm derailing, instead of helping me back on the tracks, he pushes me further and then jumps off with me. And that's and that happens in a lot of different aspects. It can happen in being goofy, it can happen in being serious, it can happen in being funny, laughable, emotional, heavy, and I think that's one of the things that he and I have I guess learned from each other, is just how to communicate without actually communicating.
I Dean it up a little bit every now and again. I'll explain. Not Jensen so much as Dean. Like if we're walking down a street in Rome, per se, like last night, and I'm walking around, and I'm just Jared, and kind of like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. But there's a big crew of people, all go from like, da-da to, so they get out of my way. And I was like, this is fun. I told Misha, I was like, I'll just walk around, be like, as soon as I don't want to swerve, I'll sort of like, do my Dean face. I'll kill you.
You just look threatening as possible. Is that?
And then I'll turn to you or Misha and be like, that was fun. If they only knew.
Hey.
Hey, it's good to see you guys again.
You too.
So I have a question about the last episode. It shouldn't be too spoilery, I don't think. But at the convention in the UK, you talked about how you guys had to change the reunion hug scene between Sam and Dean. And we were just curious as to what you changed. How did you feel that it could be improved, or what did you feel needed to be improved?
It was written that I was underarms and you were over. Here we go.
I would say that it was obviously written in there, but I would say the one thing that wasn't written in the script was the, I guess the oddity that it was, how it happened. I think dealing with the fact that, yes, he's back, and from Dean's standpoint, yes, he's back, and I want to embrace my brother because I thought I lost him, but he came back via Lucifer, and that really concerns me, and that's something that we're probably going to have to deal with. So it was like a bit of a, there's a very like sort of ephemeral quality with a lot of supernatural scenes where it's that classic like, oh my God, you're back, everything's okay. It's sort of like, oh my God, you're back, everything's not okay. And now we have a new problem.
Work to do. So, and it frustrates me too, because Jared wants to go like, oh my God, they are there and alive. But it's like, no, they're not. They're in an apocalypse world and have to get Mom back and Jack back and Michael's around and Lucifer's around. So there's this fleeting sort of, you're still in the middle of the game, there's still a lot of work to do. So there's not that satisfaction of like, oh, I'm home.
It's over.
It's
right,
over.
yeah.
I'm done.
We're saved.
Yeah.
So I think it was the weight of that kind of moment was.
It was written a bit more heavy. It was written a bit more like, reunion-y, but it didn't feel right. because we did it and we were like, wait a second, this doesn't feel right. Like, A, we have a whole nother episode. Whole nother means an entire another for all you non-Texans. So we had a whole additional, whole nother, jeez. We had an additional episode to do.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
So it needed to feel fleeting. It needed to be, unfortunately, unsatisfactory.
I will also say that to the writer's credit, a lot of times they don't feel like they need to write all of that into the script because they trust us to find those moments, make those decisions, and perform it. So, you know, I don't think it was the writers doing a disservice to that moment. I literally think they were like, no, they know what to do. They'll figure it out. And I think that's a trust that's been built over well over a decade. So.
And I feel like moments like that, great question, because I, as an actor, as a performer, I feel those moments, like as a fan of the show, I want a satisfactory, successful, everything's okay hug. So as an actor, it's weird sometimes to go like, well, we need to piss ourselves off. Like this needs to suck. And be sort of like, love you, okay, all right, what next? Like it needs to kind of suck a little bit. But for the sake of the story, that's what we did, you know? I want the whole, oh my God, you're alive, oh my God, you're home, I was so worried, hug, you know.
And we've had some of those over the years.
Yeah. It didn't work.
But this wasn't the time for that.
Well, I would kind of have to disagree with your assessment of it.
Oh, for crying out.
But because it was very satisfactory, whether you intended it or not. A great deal of emotion came through, and a great deal of love between Sam and Dean was very obvious, even as fleeting as it was.
Listen, you know, we're very satisfactory, okay?
I am always satisfied with you guys.
It just comes in varying degrees. Misha, I don't know, but listen, we aim to satisfy, right? What? No? My bad.
I'm good.
We can edit that part out.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
One more?
That's it?
Okay, un mas. Ragazzi.
Hi.
Andiamo, ragazzi.
Should I?
I don't know what that means. I was just saying things that I heard.
He's just making noises, and hopefully there are words in some language. Sorry, all right.
Two things. Beautiful acting by all of you. Beautiful. I mean, last few episodes especially were quite emotional as well, but they were very beautiful done. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And secondly, quickly, another thank you for just clarifying about the why or how Dean couldn't go back. Like what that was, we all had that in mind. So thank you for clarifying. Quick question for my friend, for Jensen, about there's so many spoilers going on, speculation about finales, and there are talks about you are going to play another character. So finally, how does it feel to play another character rather than Dean?
Wait. Here we go. So let's not.
Yeah, I got this. Let's say that I haven't really had the chance to play this character just yet. It's good. But I will.
Yes, we are waiting for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You're tired of being
Thank y'all. We're gonna leave you. You're staying, right? Okay. All right. See you later.
Gratitude and apologies.
You know, it's like we've been working together this long. No wonder, you know.
Use the word synergy.
Yes, yeah. I think it's just we're on the same cycles now. Thank you very much.